Macmillan Audio presents Oil and Honey by Bill McKibben. Read for you by Kevin T. Collins. The farm is for Sophie, the fight is for Sophie, and this audiobook is for Sophie. Oil and Honey. Chapter 1. 2 Lives. Here's a story of 2 lives lived in response to a crazy time. A time when the Arctic melted and the temperature soared, a time when the planet began to come apart, a time when bee populations suddenly dropped in half. Each story is extreme. They're not intended as suggestions for how others should live, and I hope the listener won't feel the need to choose or reject either one. Each story is mine, at least in part, for sometimes I think I've learned more in the past 2 years than in all the decades that came before. Some of that education came in the tumult and conflict of my own life as I helped to build an active resistance to the fossil fuel industry, and some came in the bee yards of my home state, while I carefully watched a very different, very beautiful way of dealing with a malfunctioning modernity. These stories mesh together, I hope, awkwardly right now, but perhaps with luck, more easily in the time to come. I first met Kirk Webster in the fall of 2001. Newly ensconced at Middlebury College in Vermont, I'd offered to teach a course on local food production. There were 2 problems. One, I can't really grow anything. My heart is green, but not my thumb. 2, this was long before Michael Pollan or Barbara Kingsolver had taken up local agriculture, and there wasn't really much to read. We could choose among the remarkable essays of Wendell Berry, the seductive novels of Wendell Berry, and the tough poems of Wendell Berry. Looking through back issues of a magazine called Small Farmer's Journal, however, I came across an essay by a beekeeper named Kirk Webster. I'm not sure I noticed the first time I read it that he was a neighbor. I was just taken by his confident prose and his descriptions of his life among the honeybees. Surely the best-kept secret in the U.S. today is the wonderful way of life that's possible with full-time farming on a small place, he began. If more people understood the opportunities for faith, freedom, responsibility, health, and education that good farming can provide, our rural areas might be repopulated and the self-destructive course of our society reversed. This timeless activity is so much more than just a way of making a living. It is in fact the middle path described in the Buddha's teachings, and the object of St. Thomas's words, "The kingdom of heaven surrounds you, but you see it not." He was, it turned out, living in the next town over, and easy to track down via the small farmer grapevine. He agreed to come to class and talk. I don't recall everything he said that day, but I do remember my first impression. He was bearded, shy, and a little ill at ease, but we all took to him instantly. Even the students who had no intention of becoming farmers, the ones bound for finance or medicine or the other high-powered careers you leave for from a place like Middlebury, were shaken a little by his quiet resolution and by his story. He'd grown up in suburban New Jersey, like many of them, in a family he described in his essay as largely dysfunctional and aimless, so not unlike a lot of them. I always liked to read, and I didn't have trouble getting good grades, so everyone assumed I would be able to get scholarships and somehow continue as far as possible with education. By the age of 15, though, it was clear that I was soon going to seek elsewhere for something to do.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?